We're now joined by the New Jersey Assembly Speaker, Craig Coughlin. Mr. Speaker, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Steve. How you been?
I'm doing all right. You?
Doing fine. Family's well. What else? After that, it's all gravy.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about? State finances? Okay. Hey, by the way, I asked Senate President Sweeney the same question, and John Bramnick, the Republican Assembly leader. How would you describe the state's fiscal picture right now?
Hopeful. I think we have seen some really good positive things in terms of revenue numbers. They're better, much better than we had anticipated. I think we did a good job at balancing out the way we handled the concern about the reduction in revenue that was anticipated. Didn't materialize to the same level, but we're very conservative about it. We spread it out so that we didn't try to tax our way out of it. We didn't try to spend our way out of it. We didn't try to borrow our way out of it. We did a combination of all of them, and I think that has positioned us well for the recovery that's inevitable, and I hope is right around the corner.
Speaker Coughlin, there's a middle-class tax rebate in this budget. What is it exactly?
Well, it's a $500 rebate to people with families with children, depending on your income eligibility. $75,000 is the level if you're a single parent, $150 if you're of two parents, and you'll get a $500 rebate. And it'll come at a really good time, just as kids are getting ready to go back to school. It was part of the things that led us to be able to pass the millionaire's tax. We wanted to make sure that we stuck up for working middle class New Jerseyans, and I think we've accomplished that. That's what that is. It affects about more than 750,000 families in the state of New Jersey.
Now, you're a co-sponsor of a bill that would appropriate $10 million from the CARES Act to the Department of Agriculture for food banks in New Jersey. Talk about that.
Look, we face a huge crisis in New Jersey with regard to people who have lost their job, people who go hungry every night. Too many people in the state of New Jersey. It was something I've talked about since I was fortunate enough to become the speaker, is trying to address that. And this is another step in that. Sadly, so many New Jerseyans have lost their jobs as a result of the pandemic. More than, I think, about 2 million people are estimated to do that. Oftentimes, those people are searching for food. Imagine if you had every day your first job, instead of trying to figure out your future instead of trying to find a job, instead of trying to figure out how to get through this pandemic, you had to worry about feeding your family. Think of how debilitating that is. Think of what that does to your psyche. And we see some of those stories. The little girl who was in Monmouth County, who was on school and was crying because she was hungry. I've heard stories of a woman who called a helpline, and they brought some food out. They found she had water and seltzer in her refrigerator. That was it. So we have to make a big commitment to doing that. The $10 million is a start, and the governor put $25 million in the budget because we recognize how important it is. If you can't feed look, we are a great state, and you're not a great state if you can't feed your people, and that's why the commitment is so important, because it matters that much.
Sorry for interrupting, Speaker. By the way, you can talk about the millions and billions, et cetera, in the budget, and your eyes can glaze over. But as the Speaker just laid out, we're talking about real people, real problems, real issues, and that is the role of government, is to reach out and be helpful to people who are struggling. I want to make sure I get you on this, talk to you on this. The vaccine rollout, we're taping on the 23rd of March, being seen after that. How do you believe we are doing, Speaker?
Well, I think our distribution network is in good place, is in good shape, and that what we lack is the volume of vaccine. When you talk to folks what they do is they struggle to get appointments, and they struggle to get appointments because there isn't enough vaccine to accommodate everybody. But when you talk to folks who then go and get the vaccination, you find out that they run efficiently, that I was only in and out, I had to wait my 15 minutes, and then boom, I was on to it. I think in the Johnson & Johnson, when they come out in big form, and I understand that's going to be within the next couple of weeks, so by the beginning of April, as people may be seeing this, it should hit the market in a big way. And when we do that, when we effectively don't need the list anymore because there's just enough vaccine for everybody to do it, I think that the distribution network will light up like a Christmas tree, and we'll be able to get to the target goal in short order.
If I could quickly on this, Speaker Coughlin, and I asked the Senate President the same question. On legalization of marijuana, as we speak right now, there are some challenges, some issues, particularly around what is the appropriate role of police departments in dealing with underage kids smoking marijuana out in public and whether they can be pulled over or not and what's at risk, and you don't call the parents. And I don't know what's going to get changed or not as we speak.
It is.
It is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. And look, what we sorted through, and this has been a challenge, right? The whole process of that. We did a number of really large things in this. There's a seismic shift in social policy, a seismic shift in creating a new industry, and we had to then figure out how we were going to accomplish what we set off to do as part of this was to achieve some social justice in this. One of the things that we have to do, and I like to call it the intellectual Rubicon, is cross over the notion, guys like my age who grew up understanding that marijuana was, or believing that marijuana was a drug, a la cocaine or something like that. It's not anymore, right? That's what the people of New Jersey said overwhelmingly. It's not. It's more akin to alcohol than it is to some serious drug. And so how we adjust for that. And one of the things that led us to was how do we handle people who are underage? Well, how would we handle if they had a beer kind of thing walking down the street? Now we've made them identical to the way we handle them. And I think, that has caused us to go through and make some changes, and we still need to refine it. And I think that's what you'll see us do. We have a voting session that's coming up just a couple of days from now. And I think we will change that and make that right. So
and by the way,
parents will be notified at the first.
Say that again?
Parents will be notified on the first encounter.
By the way, monitor NJ Spotlight News every night. They'll monitor this situation, report on it, and that's where you'll find out what's happening. Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Best to you and your family. Thank you, Craig.
You guys, I wish I get to see you at the Rock again at a basketball game.
That's a big fan. I'm not going to say for home. Okay.
Good to see you, Steve.
Good to see you. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll catch you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by PSE&G, New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, Delta Dental of New Jersey, Operating Engineers, Local 825, Fedway Associates, Inc., IBEW Local 102, Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, St. Joseph's Health, and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State, and by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by Insider NJ, and by ROI-NJ.
Being a kid is all about playing, laughing, and having fun. Doing what they do best, from rolling in leaves to building a snowman. But when illness or injury slows your little one down, you want the best pediatric care possible. Turn to the experts at the St. Joseph's Children's Hospital to get your superhero feeling super again. St. Joseph's Health, helping kids be kids.